trying to motivate somebody to do something they don't want to do is like pulling teeth. Nobody wants to do that. I was having a conversation with a retired physicist from Los Alamos. So he's a retired physicist, engineer, and then he was a college professor. And he works a lot with young adults too, and he tries to help them do college planning. And one of the things that he said was that he loses interest in people that have no motivation. My first reaction was to say, yeah, me too. But if you can find someone's why, then they motivate themselves. This has happened on a couple instances where we've had young adults in the launch program and their parents will say, yeah, they just don't have any motivation. And then once they go through the process and they've made a plan of their own and they see, okay, if I do this thing, this is what it will get me in my life that I say that I want. And just that level of accountability of saying that out loud, it's like they unlock a type of motivation that their parents don't recognize, that they don't recognize. And it's simply because I think the school system in general does a really awful job at helping people figure that out. In fact, it just doesn't really. And then trying to motivate somebody to do something that they don't see the function of, that they don't see the use for, is really an impossible task. It's Sisyphus, you're pushing the rock up the hill over and over and over again with no measurable change. That's the difference between what this physicist is doing with the young adults he works with. If they don't show any form of motivation, he just kind of stops. He just stops working with them, which I totally get. Nobody likes to motivate people to do things they don't want to do. But when you're able to figure out, okay, this is where we're trying to get in life. This is how you're going to get there. These are the possible paths you can take that will help you end up at this result, the house you want, the family you want, where you want to live, this sort of schedule that you want that lets you have your other hobbies or do your other things. And then you say, okay, well, here's what you need to learn to do that. And then here's how long it's going to take. Here's how much it's going to cost. Here's your next steps. All of a sudden, you don't have to motivate people. And parents are just so used to this like punishing form of having to make kids do things, because in the school system, you have to do a bunch of things that you don't actually need to do that really aren't useful. And to be honest, I think a lot of adults, if they thought about themselves in the situation their child's in, they wouldn't be motivated to do what their child's having to do.